House of the Wiggle Goats. House of the Wiggle Goats, based out of Pennsylvania here. You guys might have known them as the barn that burned down a couple months ago. This is an animal sanctuary here in PA that takes in neglected and abused animals, and they're a non-profit organization. They bring animals in and try to rescue them and give them a chance that they never would have had anywhere else. So they had a barn fire May 28th, 2025, which resulted in the loss of approximately 40 animals. They say it was caused by an electrical issue behind the breaker box, possibly a mouse, but that's still under investigation. The sanctuary is run by Michael and Aaron Wiggle. Now, despite the tragedy, the community came together and raised almost $70,000 for the Wiggle Sanctuary. But here's the thing. After the deadly fire, a lot of the animals appeared to be emaciated and underfed. This type of tragic event brings the community together, but it also puts a lot of eyes on their animals. Notably, the PSPCA. This is a division of Pennsylvania Prevention to Animal Cruelty. They received multiple reports of very underweight animals and other animals eating the carcasses of other animals. They also stated that the conditions of the surviving animals were not due to the fire. Meaning these were pre-existing conditions, the malnourishment and whatnot. So you gotta decide what you believe as a viewer of this, because they're now being charged with felonies and animal cruelty. Was this a sanctuary that was just taking in animals that were already emaciated? Or did they become emaciated after they came to the farm? Could they afford the feed? Were they using their 501c charitable donations for the animals? This is all going to be under investigation because they're now being charged with so many different things. The investigators determined that a lot of the goats actually had abscesses, which could be CAE or Jones. Now, was that pre-existing? I don't know. Some of them had hypothermia, which that could be the fact they didn't have a barn. Now, the veterinarian that was called in after the fire was there to only look at the animals that were burned or affected by that barn fire. And when the investigators interviewed the veterinarian said they visually appeared to be underweight and malnourished. So after investigators talked to another veterinarian as well as a person who had provided goats to the sanctuary, they determined that the Wiggles were intentionally or knowingly torturing the pigs and the goats. Torturing them by means of not giving them proper veterinary care or proper food. Now, I tried to reach out to them, but their Facebook page has been deleted. Their website is now down. The only place I could find Erin was on TikTok, and I sent her a PM, and I haven't heard back from her because I wanted her side of the story before I actually covered this. The Wiggles were charged with aggravated cruelty to animals, neglect of animals, and other related offenses. According to the court documents, they are waiting for their preliminary hearing. Try to say that with your braces. And as it appears right now, they don't have legal representation, assuming they're probably going to use their GoFundMe money for representation because it turns out that their insurance company is going to cover the full cost of the barn. So basically, the fire exposed the neglect to the animals, or the animals were in recovery from their previous homes. I really don't want to take sides on this. However, why would the court systems be going after them? Why would they be being charged felonies and aggravated assault against animals? So the internet seems divided. What really happened here? The law seems to be going for the throat, yet I see sympathy on Facebook posts regarding the Wiggles. One thing I find interesting is they were open to the public. They had educational programs and they had people on their farm frequently. So if these claims were actually true, would you think that it would have been reported sooner? It seems they had about 120 animals on their farm. Now, I have a herd of 230, and I know how difficult it can get. I also know that a lot of times as livestock owners, we try to administer our own medicines to save some money. They're each going to be charged with 4 counts of animal cruelty, aggravated animal cruelty, 10 misdemeanor neglect charges, and of course the accusations include the severely underweight animals, parasites, abscesses, animals eating deceased remains, and vet disputes over their care. Now, of course, Aaron claims that many of the animals were already senior or came to their sanctuary sick, which I could believe. We've rescued some animals ourselves. Some of them had just been turned in prior to the fire and possibly malnourished before their arrival. She believes that the fire chaos caused the neglect. Now, was it fair to assess them so soon, since these accusations came up only 2 days after the fire? Now, Erin said she was going to comment after they talked to their attorney, which, again, there's no public attorney on record yet, and most of this story is just developing as of yesterday. And like I said, all their social media accounts have been deleted. That's one of my goats. That's another one of my goats. It's like a train reaction. So did they delete all of their socials and accounts and website due to fear of backlash? Was it the legal attorney's advice? Were they feeling guilty, or were they just mentally overloaded with everything? I'm assuming it was probably a combination of everything. Now let's ask some very fair questions. Do you think they were overwhelmed? Because being a sanctuary, you're always taking in sick animals. Thank you, Mr. Rooster. It's 5 p.m. I mean, in my opinion, they were probably being set up to fail because of the conditions of the animals they were taking in. Some animals are near impossible to bring back from the brink, and most of the time animals going into a sanctuary need extensive care. Could they provide that care? I mean, maybe they had really good intentions, but they had impossible odds to bring these guys back. I mean, do you think they were criminally negligent or victims of tragic timing and a broken system? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hug your goats. Hey, reminder though, this is an ongoing story and they haven't gone to trial yet. So they are innocent until proven guilty. So let's keep the debate in the chat civil.